Hi, 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 everyone. Hello, happy weekend. How are you doing? It's so nice to be here today talking to all you wonderful people. Please, if you can see my lovely face, you can see my smile, please go ahead and tell me where you're watching from. Give us your best emoji in the comment section and let's go. Best emoji in the comment section. Where are you calling from or where are you watching from? Your best emoji and where you're watching from. Okay, hi everybody. So today we have a lot of good things to do. So I'm not going to waste our time, like a lot of great things. We're going to be talking about um, visit visa, Canada visit visa to work permit, and I have a lot to say. But before I start, just a few ground rules. I'm going to give a presentation which is going to last for about 30 minutes. It's very important, lots of good information there. So be patient, listen to me till the end, because at the end there's some great information that I'm only going to give at the end. And when I'm done, I'll come back here and we can take our questions. Is that good? If that's good, just let me know so that I can go on. I want to see you tell me that it's good before I go on. Oh. I can go on. Okay, so I'm going to look at where some of you are joining in from. We have Chidima joining from Jos. We have Juliet from Lagos. Lots of people from Lagos, Nigeria, which is where my people are. So thank you so much for coming today. I really, really appreciate it. Um, Yeah, so I'm going to start because I know that time is very important to us. Yes, yes, yes. No cards today. Someone is asking for free cards. It's not every day now. Every day is not for free things. But today I have the information that I have for you today is more than free stuff. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen, go through it, and I'll come back and then we can have this chit chat. Okay. Joining from Zanzibar. This is still a man from Zanzibar. Thank you. And thank you for joining. Babatunde from Ekiti. Emeka Opala is watching from Abuja, Nigeria. Big ups to the Abuja people. And that's Smaila Artillery from Accra, Ghana. I was hoping to see Ghana people. I would have been surprised if there was nobody from Ghana. Somebody is looking for this free airtime. Look, I suspect that some of you are here because of the free airtime. But just wait, I'm going to give something at the end, but I'm not going to say what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen, give us all that great information, and they will take it from there. 1 second. Okay. Amazing. So thank you so much for being here once again. I really, really appreciate you taking the time out to come and share with us here. I mean, spend your time here with us. Like I said, tell us where you're joining from. So before I go on and start yapping and talking too much, the question is, who am I? So I'm going to tell you who am I and why you should listen to me. So my name is Seyi Obasi, as the name indicates. I am from Nigeria. I'm Yoruba, married to someone from Igbo. I live in Ontario, Canada, and I'm very passionate about teaching people ways and avenues that they can legally relocate to Canada. So that's my passion, because I came to Canada as well. And, I know lots of people are trying to come, and I want to show people how to do that. Today, we're going to be talking about the truth about changing your Canada visit visa to a work permit. The truth, and I dare say the lies about changing your Canada visit visa to a work permit. Now, I'm going to give a disclaimer that this is not immigration advice. Yeah, this information is just meant for information and education purposes. So always consult the IRCC website if you need immigration advice. So today you're going to get 6 revelations from this presentation. Number 1, you're going to understand the policy about visit visas being able to work in Canada, what you need to get a work permit as a visitor in Canada, 4 things that can help you expedite this process, types of jobs that can get you a work permit and how to find those jobs. One job that can help you get a work permit fast. You must stay to the end to get this tip. And what your plan B and your plan C should be. You need to stay to the end to get this tip as well. Now, I am not going to tell you how to apply for a visit visa. This is not what this is about. So this is for those who are either planning to get a visit visa or have one. You need to go and find out how to get a visit visa by yourself, okay? That's not what we're doing here today. So what I need you to do, 3 things. Number 1, pay very close attention. Number 2, take notes. Number 3, stay till the end because I'm giving away some delicious information at the end. Number 4, share, like subscribe to the channel, like this video, and please go ahead and share it so as many people that need to know this information can join, because there are lots of people who also need to know this. So please like the video, share it now, go ahead and share. Send the link to someone, share it, just click the share button and send it somewhere to your WhatsApp group, to social media so that people can also join. So let me take us back a bit in history. Sometime in 2020, we are all aware of what happened. COVID visited the entire world in 2020, and it brought a lot of catastrophe, which I'm not going to go into. But because of COVID, travel and movements were restricted in almost all the countries in the world. And because of this, people were locked at home. People were not able to go to work, including those who work for IRCC. So those who process visas, work permits, and all that work. And of course, because of this, there were visa processing delays. Nobody was processing visas at the beginning of COVID when there was confusion. And visit visas were one of the first things that were abandoned because, of course, nobody's going to give you a visa to come visit Canada or any other country because, of course, the world had closed. A lot of countries had closed their borders, including Canada. Now, in the midst of all these, there were people who were in Canada on a visit visa who could not return back to their country and vice versa. Now, because these people were stuck in Canada, the government decided to come up with a temporary policy effective August 24, 2020. So this is not a new policy. This policy was effected August 24, 2020, and the policy was issued to allow temporary residents to apply for a work permit from within Canada. Yeah, so if those people got a job within Canada during that period, they could apply. This policy started August 24, 2020, and it was going to go up until 2023. However, before then, if you got a job in Canada and you needed to apply for work permit, say you were a visitor, you had a temporary resident visa, you had to leave Canada. You could not apply for a work permit from within Canada. But because of COVID, people were allowed to apply for work permit from within Canada. And that started August 24th, 2020. Now, in October of 2021, Canada appointed a new immigration minister called Sean Fraser. Now, Sean Fraser came at a time when, of course, COVID, there were lots of visa delays and all that. And he decided to extend that policy by 2 years. So the policy started in 2020 up until 2023, but in February of 2023, he extended it by another 2 years. So this policy of visitors being able to apply for a work permit in Canada has been extended until February 28, 2025. It is not a new policy. It started in 2020. Now, by the time he resumed as immigration minister, there were backlogs and backlogs of visas, backlogs of permanent residence applications, visit visas, spousal work permits, so many. And this man came with an objective to clear visit visa application backlogs. He said, you know what, by the end of February 2023, we're going to clear all the backlogs, yeah? And because they wanted to clear the backlogs, RCC plans to ease the eligibility criteria for visit visa applicants. So as long as you don't have a criminal background or anything like that, you don't have any health problems that would give Canada problems, they would approve your visit visa because they had nearly 500,000 applications for processing. If they were going to do it the normal way, then only God knows when they will finish processing it. So the minister was like, you know what, just approve those visit visas, and then let's just get that backlog out of the way. Guess what started happening? People started getting emails of visit visa applications that they had made months or even years ago. Some people made these applications in 2020. So they must have thought that their agent had duped them because they hadn't heard anything in years. And all of a sudden, people started getting visit visa approvals. It was like a rain of visit visa approvals from everywhere. It was just falling like rain. And then on top of this, the government of Canada had extended that policy that allowed visit visa holders in Canada to apply for work permits. So guess what started happening? Agents took it upon themselves to specialize on visit visas. And they started telling people that you can get a visit visa, and once you come to Canada, you can just apply for work permit. So there were TikTok videos, Instagram videos, there were posts all over the place. Basically, they were clickbait that just said, change your visit visa to work permit in Canada. Visitors started trooping to Canada in search of that work permits because they hoped to use that to become permanent residents in Canada. People started asking questions. And if when I tell them the truth, they will say, no, my agent said. So more people were now applying for visit visas, hoping to change it to work permits in Canada because their agents had told them that, you know what, you can apply for visit visa and change it to work permit. Enough, some people even tell agents, oh, you know what, can you apply for work permit for me? And the agent will say, yes. Eventually, the agent will apply for what? Visit visa. And when you complain, he will tell you that it's not a problem. When you get to Canada, you can change it. I've heard a lot of people say that to me. So these people got their visit visas, packed their bags, packed their Ghana must go, and headed to Canada with their family and with a smile. But their experiences, the experiences of those visitors in Canada has not been very good. There are visitors in Canada who are actually stranded, who are confused, who are sad, who have seen the reality of the situation, who are cursing the agents that gave them that visit visa, and they're in several levels of discouragement and disappointments. So the question you're asking is, Seyi, are you saying that I cannot change my visit visa to a work permit? I can't change it to a study permit or permanent residence when I come to Canada? And you're also telling me that, Seyi, as you're answering that, also answer this. So, are there no jobs available for foreigners in Canada? My answer to this one, there are jobs. Of course, there are jobs available for foreigners in Canada. And my answer to your first question, if you can change your visit visa to a work permit, the answer is yes. You can apply for a work permit, but what you have heard from your agent or from TikTok videos or Instagram videos is only half the truth. Yeah, I want to tell you the full truth, but I know that some of you will not hear. There are some people here who will not hear, but I will still tell you the truth anyway, whether you hear or not. Now, before you go on, if you want to come to Canada for tourism purposes alone, that means you just want to come, look at Canada, enjoy the sights, and go back. This is not for you. But if you want to come to Canada and you have a dual purpose, you want to stay in Canada after you come, then this is for you and you should stay on. First of all, the first thing I want to say is that you are not changing anything. So it's not as if you come to Canada and say, immigration officer, this is my visit visa, change it and give me a work permit. Because even if you apply for and you get a work permit, you will still have your visit visa and you will still have your work permit, which means that you can still use your visa to travel inside and out of Canada. The visit visa also just gives you a leeway to be able to change it, right? Now, there's something I want to point out in that policy that came out February 28, 2023. Now, this part I want to show you, nobody talks about it. You can read what is on my screen. Nobody talks about it. Now, this is what the policy is. foreign nationals who are in Canada as visitors and who receive a valid job offer will continue to be able to apply for and receive a work permit without having to leave the country. I don't know how to stress this. The two things there are, you have to get a valid job offer, and then you can apply for a work permit without having to leave the country. Are you aware that you can apply for a work permit and be refused? It's not just because you apply, it means that you will get it. You can apply and be refused. Now, look at the second thing on my screen. In most cases, the Canadian employer will need to obtain a labor market impact assessment. It's an LMIA. Yeah, if you have been in this space a bit, you will know what an LMIA is. He needs to get an LMIA in order to hire a foreign national, yeah, even those who want to change from a visit visa to a foreign worker. And I'm going to explain a bit, but I just need you to know that there are two things. You need to receive that valid job offer, and then you need to also apply for work permits. Now, there are two ways or two routes to go from a visitor in Canada to a worker in Canada. There's the LMIA exempt work permit, which is open work permit. You don't need LMIA for it. But then there's the LMIA authorized work permit, which is a closed work permit. And that is what most of us here are going to need. Yeah, most of us on this webinar, most of us who are watching right now, who will watch later, what you're needing is an LMIA authorized work permit, which is a closed work permit for you to be able to go from visitor to a worker in Canada. What is this LMIA that I'm talking about? LMIA simply means Labor Market Impact Assessment. This is a document that an employer in Canada may need to get before they can hire a foreign national. So the employer needs to get what is called a positive LMIA. And what will this LMIA show? LMIA will show, number one, that he has shortages and there's a need for him to hire a foreigner to fill the job, and that no Canadian or permanent resident is available to do the job. Now, I have highlighted and bolded that for a reason. No Canadian or permanent resident is available to do the job. And how will they prove this? The employer must, first of all, advertise the job across the Canadian job market, including the job bank, for at least 4 weeks before applying for an LMIA. The LMIA is going to cost them about 1,000 Canadian dollars. So it's not like it's free. Employers have to pay. They have to advertise that job for 4 weeks before they can employ you as a foreigner. Now, why are they doing this? You say we should come as visitors and we can apply. Now, yeah, LMI is there. Now, Canada is doing it to avoid a xenophobic situation, protecting the interest of permanent residents and citizens who have the first right to jobs in Canada. We don't want a situation, or the government doesn't want a situation where permanent residents and citizens become angry that foreigners are coming to take the jobs. So jobs can only be given to you as a visitor under the LMIA if no Canadian or permanent resident is available or willing to do the job. Yeah, that's it. So let me break down the truth for us as we go along. Truth number one, I'm going to pause a second so that you can read the slide. To be eligible to apply, yeah, under this temporary policy, an applicant must, number one, have a valid status in Canada as a visitor on the day they apply. So on the day you're applying for work permit, you have that valid status. Number two, you must have a job offer that is supported by a labor market impact assessment, or your job offer must be LMI exempt. So LMI exempt is maybe you're from a country that has sort of like some treaty or agreement with Canada, or you are on a company-to-company intra-transfer. If you're not on any of that, then you need a job offer that is supported by an LMIA, and you must submit your application for an employer-specific work permit not later than February 28, 2025. You must meet all other standard admissibility criteria. If you don't meet all other standard admissibility criteria, even though you have that valid status, you have a job offer, an LMIA, if you don't meet other admissibility criteria, you might be refused. So 3 things you must have. You must have a valid status. You can lose your status as a visitor. We'll talk about that in a bit. You must have a job offer supported by LMIA. You must also submit your application for an employer-specific work permit and meet all the other eligibility criteria. Now, the exemption to this, like I said before, if you're the spouse of an international student in Canada, you can apply for a work permit in Canada online or by flag polling. Today, we're not talking about flag polling, but flag polling is the nickname for when foreign nationals with temporary status in Canada leave by crossing the border, enter the United States, and then immediately re-enter Canada and get same-day immigration services. So if your spouse is a student here, you came in with a visit visa, you can actually go and change it. That is the only situation where you can change it. Or if you're someone with an LMI exempt job offer, or your spouse has a work permit with a job that qualifies for that, then you can flag poll. Any other person, you need the LMI. Number two is that some of you got visit visas that are like 5 years. So you got a 5-year visit visa for the length or the validity of your international passport. Some got 10-year visas, because some got 2 years visa. They are very happy. That means I'm coming to Canada for 2 years. No, my sweetheart, you are not able to stay in Canada for 2 years. Most visitors can stay up to 6 months. 6 months at a time in Canada, which means that by the time you come, if you don't get that job in 6 months, you have to leave. So at the point of entry, the border services officers may allow you to even stay for less than 6 months. Yeah, sometimes if you came from a conference, an immigration officer might stamp it and say you'll stay for only 2 weeks or 1 month for the validity for the time period of your conference. But you can only stay for 6 months. Listen to me again. Even though your visit visa is 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever number of years, you can only stay 6 months at a time as a visitor in Canada. Now, if you overstay in Canada, you may receive a removal order issued by the IRCC or the Canada Border Services Agency. Now, the removal order will state that you can't legally remain in Canada and you must leave the country. You don't want that to happen, okay? You don't want that to happen. You want to be able to leave Canada at the time you're supposed to leave. Truth number 3, like I said before, I'm just emphasizing that you need to get a job offer that is supported by LMIA and apply for a work permit before your time as a visitor expires. Yeah. So by the time you land in Canada as a visitor, you are running on a race. You have 6 months at that time. You then need to go and come back, yeah, for you to continue whatever it is you're doing. You cannot just stay beyond 6 months just because you have a 2-year visit visa. Now, truth number 4, which is a bunch of truths, is that number 1, you may not be able to rent a house because a visitor, most landlords will not likely want to rent to you, except maybe it's an Airbnb. You may not be able to rent a car because you're not a permanent resident, you don't have a credit score. You might have to spend a lot of money on hotels and Airbnbs if you have no one that's willing to accommodate you, except this person is a family member or a close friend. They might not be able to accommodate you for 6 months, I'm telling you. And then you're running against time. Remember, you have like that 6 months of time, you're running against time when you come as a visitor hoping to convert to a work permit. So that's truth number 4. Truth number 5 is that no employer is obligated to hire visitors. You can't, the government didn't force employers to hire visitors, yeah? The government didn't give employers a quota to hire visitors, no way. Some employers are not even aware of what the LMIA is. They are not bothered. They don't even want to do it. So no employer is obligated. And then you need to meet the job requirements and have the applicable work experience to get a job. Yeah, and to get a work permit. For example, if you're applying for a job as a construction manager, for example, and you're putting you somehow got the LMIA and the job offer, you need to meet the work experience. You need to have that work experience because the visa officer who is processing your application wants to see that you're actually qualified to do the job that you're applying for a work permit for. Yeah, so that's one thing. Your application for a work permit can be refused. I'm saying it the second time, it can be refused, yeah? Okay, so imagine that you got your visit visa, you are rejoicing, you're coming to Canada as a visitor, and you do not have family or friends in Canada. Time is running out on you. You have landed and suddenly you realize time is running out of you. Remember, you can only stay 6 months at a time. You are burning your candle at both ends. So maybe you are probably paying rent in Canada and paying rent in your country, then spending on Airbnb in Canada. Or maybe you need to get back to your job. You took a leave and they're wondering, are you coming back or not? Yeah, you're getting depressed, you're getting discouraged. And then someone is saying, go and seek asylum. You now start getting all this stupid advice from everywhere. You have little understanding of the asylum process. You have little understanding for the requirements. And sometimes you listen to this, advice and you go and do something wrong, messing up with your immigration history. So I don't want any of this to happen to you. Yeah, that's why I'm putting this together. I don't want that. There's so many people asking questions about this. I don't want you to come here without knowledge. So are you saying there's no hope, Seyi? What can I do? Oh, my sweetheart, I didn't say there's no hope. There's hope. Yeah. Now, this is what you can do. Pay close attention to everything that I'm about to say. So if we're not listening before, sit up and listen now. Sit up and take notes. Yeah. There are 4 things that you need. I'm going to talk about each of them. You need to come with a solid plan. Yeah. If you can come with any other route, if you can come as a student, if you can come as a permanent resident, fine. But if this visit visa is the only one you want to use, come with a solid plan. Use your network in Canada. Be very persistent. Location, and understand how to get a job in Canada. So what is your plan? Don't just pack your Ghana must go. Pack your things, sell off things, and that start coming. Have a plan. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. You have 6 months at a time to stay in Canada. I would not even advise coming to a family at once, because really, if you don't have a plan, then it's a problem, especially if you don't have family and friends here to help you. Number 2, use your network. Now, one of the things that I was told when I came to Canada was that in getting a job, many things, your network is so key in Canada. My goodness, because a lot of those jobs are not advertised. They are maybe advertised within the company. So your friends, your family, in church, in people you meet in the supermarket, friends of friends, friends of family, family of friends, everybody needs to know what you are here for. They need to know that you're looking for a job. They need to be able to help you. Don't become a pest, but be persistent. Yeah, you need something. Be persistent, but don't be a pest. Don't give up just because you tried 1 or 2 times and it didn't come true. Location. Now I know you like Toronto, you like to go to Edmonton, you want to stay in Quebec, you want to stay in Victoria, all those nice places. I get it, Brampton and Co. Places are nice, but trust me, there are people there who already are there looking for these jobs. You need to be looking at the rural areas. I'm going to talk about that a bit more later, but the location where you are or the location where you're looking for this job is very important. Location is part of the things you have to plan about before you come. Then another thing, you need to understand the Canada job market and get a guide. Lots of people come in, they don't even know what the Canadian employers want. They don't know the kind of jobs that are here, and they just come and just enter gra. It's not like that to use Nigerian gra or Ghana gra. It might not work for you like that. So dear friends, pay attention. I want to tell you about a program. It's called the Canada Temporary Foreign Worker Program. And I want to talk to you about the strategies you can use to actually get a job in Canada. Now, when you're even looking for a job in your country, in Nigeria, wherever, it's very frustrating, when you keep sending resumes or CVs, nobody's calling you. You're like, did something cover me? Village people, you understand? So it's not village people. Sometimes it's knowledge. And I want to show you, how you can actually get a job in Canada, or how you can increase your chances of getting a job in Canada so you do not become depressed and discouraged. The Temporary Foreign Worker Program is a program of the government of Canada that allows employers in Canada to hire foreign nationals as employees, like I talked about before, and it's to fill job shortages in Canada. So Canadian employers can employ foreigners, yeah? They just need to go through the process. Now, for you who is coming, say the employer has done all they need to do, they have put out that LMIA, they have put out the job ad. How do you get that job in Canada? What should you know? Number 1, you need to know where to find the jobs, yeah? Canada is a massive country. You can just come land back. Where do you start? There are recruitment websites, there are job websites, there's the job banks. Those ones are general, but apart from that, there are a bunch of licensed recruitment agencies that employ these foreign workers. They are licensed. They will not ask you to pay money, because that is illegal. They won't ask you to pay for the LMIA because it's illegal. So you need to know where to find these people. Where are they? How do you find them? Do they have websites? What's their phone number? What best provinces, cities, areas, the best jobs, yeah? And then, of course, IRCC also provides a list of employers that have positive LMIAs, you need to know how to find them and contact them. That's about where to find the jobs. Now that you know where to find the jobs, what about your resume, your cover letter? It is vital. Your resume and cover letter is what is going to speak to you first when you get in front of the employer. Now, there's the 6 to 8 seconds rule that I've heard about, which means that a recruiter probably looks at your resume for 6 to 8 seconds and makes a decision. You can imagine just 6 seconds. Sometimes it's even less, yeah? So they are looking at your resume, and if they don't see certain things, they will just, dump it in the bin. There are lots of CVs that get dumped in the bin. And then is your resume passing the ATS test? So the ATS is a tracking system that a lot of employers or recruiters use to select resumes. Yeah, they can't go through thousands of resumes. So they use this ATS system, and you need to know how it works. You also need to learn how to use a cover letter. You need to learn how to use a cover letter. A lot of us are so lazy. We don't want to write cover letters. Just send your resume. A lot of us are so lazy that we use one resume for everything. You can't use one resume for everything. It's not going to work like that. You need to be able to stand out, and you need to be able to know how to do that. Trust me, you're not the only visitor in Canada. You're not the only one looking for a job. Lots of people are. So you need to know how you're going to stand out from all those people, yeah? So how to pass interviews with employers? So let's say that your resume has even been accepted. Now, what questions will they be asking in the interviews? How do they do the interviews? Is this on Zoom? Would they ask you to come into the office? What answers are they expecting from you? What are the skills that you should emphasize? What are the skills that impress these interviewers? The soft skills versus hard skills. Where should you put your emphasis on? On what particular kind of jobs are you emphasizing hard skills versus soft skills? You need to know all of this. And how do you recognize fake job adverts and fake job offers? There's a big market in Canada and in certain countries, including my dear sweet country, Nigeria, Ghana, and certain Asian countries. There's a big market of people who are issuing fake job offers and fake job adverts. Because there's an example of that on the right of the screen. So in fact, just all countries, they talk about all sorts of things that they offer, and they tell you that there's even this one is even visa lottery. There's nothing like visa lottery in Canada. So there's lots of those kind of job ads and job offers. So what are the red flags that you should look out for? I'm going to do a video about this later. What should you look out for? Please be very careful. You need to look before you leap, yeah? You don't want to be spending that your hard-earned money and dashing it to one stupid agent, okay? Who, of course, is not even going to give you anything. So how do employers check your background? They also do check your background because they don't want to just employ anybody. So what are they looking for? Where are they looking? Yeah, where are they looking? And of course, what are some of the social media red flags that you should be avoiding or that you should be looking out for when you're trying to get a job in Canada? Now, I'm going to talk about what your plan should be before you start coming to Canada. But before we get there, I want to help you relieve the stress, yeah, by showing you how you can address all of these issues that I've just listed above. Your CV, your resume, cover letter, ATS system, interviews. How do you find those employers? How do you apply and all that? I want to show you how to relieve your stress. Now, I have an offer, but it is absolutely not free. It is not expensive, but it's not free because you won't value it if it is free. Yeah. So, dear friends, I want to make you a really sweet offer. It's one that you cannot refuse. Yeah. One that can help you, especially in the face of you running against time when you're in Canada. So I can reduce your stress with this process by showing you how to go about it from A to Z, using what I've termed the Canada Japa Work Permit Handbook. Now, this is an online program. It's a step-by-step guide, yeah, that will show you how to find these jobs, apply to them, secure genuine jobs in Canada without being scammed. Truly, coming to Canada as a visitor without a guide like this, you will literally just be burning money coming here, not being able to get what you have proposed or what you have planned to get from coming. Now, for those of you who don't like paying for priceless information, this is the time when you can go and boil rice, can go and boil meat. or boy beans, yeah? You can go and do something, or you just decide that, you know what, I'm going to wing it, Jare. I'm not buying anything. I'm not investing in myself. I'll just come to Canada. This is the time for you to go and boil rice. But for the rest of us who understand that sometimes you need to invest in yourself and invest in priceless information, you can stay on. Now, this goes beyond selling to you. I'm not here to sell to you. Yeah. I'm just here to offer my help and make an impact. Yeah. Even giving you this information is a lot, but I want to go beyond giving you this information that I'm giving you. So with the Canada Japa Work Permit Handbook, what do you get? How to search for real jobs in Canada, which I talked about earlier. Where do you find those jobs? How do you contact them? All of that you get in this handbook. That's the value of that's about 40,000. How do you find these genuine recruiters? The ones that won't ask you to give them 8 million naira or $500,000 or 80,000, whatever, for LMIs. How do you find them? And it goes beyond just the job bank website or Indeed that everybody knows. How to get that. Then, of course, how do you craft your resume and cover letter? You have to look at first, you're not appearing before any recruiter. I was here after school applying for jobs just like everybody else. Sometimes, and I wasn't getting a response until, you know, I started learning, talking to people who were already employed and showing them my CV and cover letter. And I got schooled in terms of, wow, your resume is not in Canada style. Which one is Canada style? You need to understand what you can and cannot put on your resume, what is going to help and will not help, and why a cover letter is important. You're getting that in the work permit handbook. What I've just said is a total of 115,000 naira, or about what, 50-something thousand dollars. Yeah, but in addition, you're getting some amazing limited time special bonuses. You're getting an updated list of employers with positive LMIAs. You want to get a job that has LMIA. So you're not just coming to Canada to get any job as a visitor. You're not getting any job. You're getting a job backed by LMIA. That's the eligible job that you can use to apply for a work permit. So it's not just any job. You need to know those employers that have these LMIAs, and this is part of what you're going to get as a bonus. And then we're going to be giving you consistent updates on the routes that you can use to Canada permanent residence. So basically, you're here to work, but you don't just want to work for working sake now. You want to go from a visitor to a worker to a permanent resident. And there are several routes that you can use that work permit or that work experience that you're getting to become a permanent resident. Now, the third bonus is that you get access to me and my team. So you can reach out to us. We have a support team that will support you by email. If you have issues, you have questions, the work permit handbook is very detailed, it's step by step. But if you have questions, we have experienced support staff that can guide you, including myself. So this saves you time, it saves you money, and it saves you tears. It's the tears that is even the part I don't want. You can time and money, you know, but then time too, you don't want to waste time. You don't want to come and then, you know, have a sour taste in your mouth. Now you spend what of all these resources together is well over 115,000 naira, which is $155, well over it. Yeah, because I didn't even add the price of the bonuses, but it is well worth it. It is well worth it because of what you're trying to do. But because you're here, I know that you may have gone through Shege and the hopes that you have, and I really want to help. I really do want to help. So instead of 115,000, which is a great price already, you will get access for just 25,000 naira. That's about 50-something thousand dollars and 700 and something Ghana cedis or so, but that is the price. And if you want access, simply ask for a purchase link from the person who sent you the link to attend today. So this is 735 Ghana cedis. I think this is the rate, and 52 US dollars. And if you are being truthful, like tell me if this does not have way more value and way more worth, you know, than the 25,000 that I'm asking you to invest in. Somebody said plenty Shege. So what I've seen Shege. So I am asking you rather to make a fully informed decision, because if you have the intention of going from a visitor, a worker in Canada, or even if you're not a visitor, but you intend to apply for a work permit because apparently you might think it is cheaper for you than coming to study in Canada, this is what you need. You need to be committed. You need to be serious about your success. that is the only time you can sign up. Yeah, so make your purchase today only if you agree with this. Get your purchase link from who has sent you here. Shege and Banza. So this is everything that you're getting. Women Handbook, how to search for jobs, LMIA, recruiters, and all of that for just 25,000. But you're now asking me, can't you process this work permit for me, Seyi? No, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I cannot. First of all, you need a job, a valid job offer, supported by LMIA to do that. But if you're in the do it for me WhatsApp group, be very careful. If you're in the looking for shiny objects, be very careful. If you are the I'm too busy, I cannot do it on my own, be very careful. Because no Canadian employer will take money from you to employ you. So all those people, somebody's asking if I'm in Canada. Yes, I am. That means you weren't here from the beginning. There's no Canadian employer that will take money from you to employ you. I'm telling you, all those people that are asking you to pay those huge sums of money, they are not licensed recruiters, most likely. They are hiding under some guys and they are taking money from you because they know that you are lazy and desperate, yeah? As far as I know, there's no all expenses paid job in Canada. So if you're seeing that and you prefer that to listening to me, or you prefer that to investing 25,000 to learn how to do it, you're on your own. A word is enough for the wise. So I've talked for about 30 minutes. I still have a few slides to go, but if you're still here and if you're getting value so far, please fire emoji in the comments. Let me see that. Encourage me. Let me drink more water. So encourage me. If you're here and you've been getting value so far, we're about to go into some specifics. This second part of the presentation is hot like fire. So just give me that fire emoji so that I can go on, and continue to drop the value for us. Fire emoji, please. Whatever emojis that you like the most, just give it to us in the comments. Yes, really, a word is enough for the wise. A word really is enough for the wise. And some sweet emojis I can see there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So these are some strategies that you might want to consider. Now, this is especially useful for someone who already has that, that visit visa or is considering the visit visa. Now, special consideration. Now, when you come in with your visit visa, consider moving to a rural area to look for jobs. Yeah. Now, a rural area is, as the name implies, a rural area doesn't have a lot of people. It's a rural area. They are looking for workers. And do you know that on top of that, rural areas, there are certain rural areas that have rural immigration programs. Yeah. They have immigration programs for those who have a job offer in their area. And, you can use that to apply for permanent residence. Yeah. Just the job offer you can use to apply for permanent residence. So consider moving to a rural area. Even if your friend lives in Toronto, Brampton, Victoria, Edmonton, tell them that I'm coming here. Let me go and look for what I came here to look for. Go to the rural area and look for a job. Never, ever buy LMIA. I know that as I've said this, some people will still not hear me. LMIA may be fake. Someone told me yesterday, called me Seyi, someone is offering me an LMIA $50,000. I'm like, so you have $50,000? You know how much that is in Naira or Ghana cedis? It's a whole lot of money, and the LMIA may be fake. So please be careful. Okay, don't buy LMIA. LMIA is the responsibility of the employer, not yours. Yeah. Now, if you're asking how you can get the book, I told you go and meet whoever invited you to this webinar. They are going to send you the link for you to purchase the book. Yeah. Now, another thing that you can do, I know that the reason some of us are considering visit visa is that you want to consider the study route. Yeah. Is that you don't want to consider the study route because they think it's expensive, but hear me out. Now, if you're coming on a visit visa, one of your plan B and C should be the study route. Yeah. Do your medicals before coming to Canada. So if you're coming on a visit visa, you're coming next month, or you're coming in 2 weeks' time, make sure you're going to go and do medicals so that in worst case scenario, you already have your medicals and you can consider applying for admission or get your admission before you come to Canada, just in case. I'm not saying that you're coming to study, but get it, yeah? Consider doing short professional courses while you're here. There are a lot of professional courses that are like a few weeks to 3 months program. A few weeks to 3 months. Example, I've given a link there. of a certain school that offers this short-term programs, yeah? So you can, so whatever, 3 weeks, project management, hospitality, whatever, it might give you an inroad into an employer. It might give you an inroad because you have that Canada training, or they might just have links to employers who are employing people from that program. But if last comes to last, as we say in Nigeria, last, nothing happened, I beg, go back home. So if your 6 months is about to expire, go back home, yeah, so that you do not soil your immigration status. You can just go and come back. If you have a US visa, I don't know, you might go to the US and come back, but leave Canada so that you're not staying beyond that 6 months, yeah? And then, of course, get the work permit handbook, get it, so that you can learn how to apply for these jobs even before you travel. So before you travel, you'd have started that application process. So you'd have applied for these jobs, you'd have known how to get the employers before you even travel on your visa. Now, we're rounding up, but while we round up, there's one job that is in high demand in Canada that you can train for. You can get the training before you arrive in Canada. Now, that job is what? Truck driving. Okay, I say, oh, no, me, I'm not a truck driver. My own is IT. Oh, fine, IT is also good. But I'm talking about a job that is in high demand in Canada, is truck driving. Now, Canada covers a whopping 8.9 million square kilometers. It's the 4th largest landmass in the world. It is the 2nd, yeah? So you can imagine how many truck drivers are needed in Canada. Canada relies on road travel to transport essential food products to towns and cities all over the country. So sometimes they have to move food and stuff. And, you know, the challenges of becoming a truck driver, of getting truck drivers, is increasing daily. The average truck driver salary in Canada is $46,800 per year, or $24 per hour. This is just like average. Entry-level positions can start at $39,000 per year. I even heard someone say you can earn as high as $8,000 per month as a truck driver. So that is something you can train for before you come. Now, what are the requirements to be a truck driver in Canada? Apart from the basic requirements, you need to complete a recognized truck driving training program, obtain a certificate of completion, take a medical examination to determine that you're fit. Now, you can do that training in your country before you come to Canada, and then you can also do the training here. But, you know, start off learning how to drive a truck, because driving a truck is not the same thing with driving a car, yeah? So it's different. So completion of secondary school, high school, or equivalent on-the-job training experience, completion of a relevant training program, then you need that Class 3 or D driver's license is required, and all of these things, air brake endorsement requirements, these are all the requirements. But if you're someone who is determined, you would have started putting things in place before you come. Now, if you're coming to Ontario, I mean, there are several places, different provinces in Canada have different truck driving school, but this is one in Ontario. It's called Smart Truck Driving. They say that you can make up to $8,000 a month driving a truck in Canada. You can check this out. And also check out truck driving schools or truck driving academies in any province that you are going to. Now, someone is asking, can females be truck drivers? Well, I guess so. Yeah, females can be, but truck driving is a very stressful job. You are not at home most of the time, so that's why it is sort of like a male-driven job. So if you're married and you're female, allow your husband to come and learn the truck driving. So what can you do? Like I said before, start learning truck driving in your country, get the certificate, understand the demands of the job, come to Canada prepared, do your research on the province that you want to learn in. So learn about what are the requirements for truck driving in that province that you desire to go to, yeah? So as we come to a close today, I hope you know better. So I hope that the way you started this webinar is not the same way you're ending it, yeah? If you have gained a little bit of value, please give your best emoji in the chat. If you have gained one, maybe you learned just one thing, even if it's that LMIA that you learned, or you learned about the length of time that you can stay in Canada. If you learned just one thing, give me your best emoji. Don't forget to like this video, like it, and share. But give your best emoji in the chat, because I think that I've dropped a lot of value and you have gotten value as well. Now, as a reminder, no matter the job you want to chase in Canada, you need a good CV or a good resume that will pass the ATS software and that will pass the 6-second rule. You need a great cover letter. You need to be able to know what to write in the cover letter, and you need to know the strategy to find and apply for jobs, even if it's the truck driving job. You need to know what you're doing, and you can know this using the Canada Japan Work Permit Handbook. Yeah, if you want to get this, whoever WhatsApp group you're on, or whoever sent you the link to attend this webinar, I'm trusting. And if you go back to them now and say, you know what, I got value and I want to get it, I want to get this work permit handbook, they're going to send you the link. They're going to send you the link to purchase. And once you purchase, you get access to it. You get access to my email. You get access to my WhatsApp. You can now start communicating and asking your questions. Yeah. In terms of what issues what clarifications you need. So this is everything you are getting once, was just a small reminder, the LMIA, how to find jobs, how to search for recruiters in Canada and all that. To purchase, ask for a purchase link from the affiliate that invited you. So certain affiliates, many affiliates have sent out this information, they've invited you here. Send them a message now. Go to your WhatsApp now and say, bros, miss, abeg, send me the link. I won't buy. Send me the link. I want to start today, because you don't want to come ignorant. So the truth is, I can only show you the right approach. I can't force you. I can't force you to do the right thing, but I hope that you will do. I can't force you, but I hope you will do. So you are able to borrow my brain, borrow my expertise to help you achieve your goal of getting a genuine job in Canada. This is priceless in money value. It saves you time and money, and you can achieve your goals. Things look impossible until you make a decision to break through. So many people are confused. They have their visit visa, but they don't know what they're going to do next. Should I go? Should I not go? Will it be worth it? Will it not be worth it? This information I've shared today should help you know, that it's worth it. But for it to be worth it, you need to actually know what you're doing, have a plan, get guidance before you come. One more thing before I stop. Now, if you come on a visit visa, never tell the immigration officer at the airport that you're here to stay permanently or you're here to work. And they ask you, they're smiling with you, oh, you're here to visit. Even if you get a job, are you going to stay? Tell them, no, I only came to visit. I will go back after 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 month, whatever you told them you're staying. Do not admit that you came to work. So what you actually need is knowledge. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my knowledge with you. I hope you got value. So if you want to take that leap of faith to achieving your Canada dream, do not travel with a visit visa without a solid plan. Do not travel with a visit visa without getting the Canada JAPA Work Permit Handbook. So I'm done, but I need you to do just 2 things for me. Number 1, like this video if you got value. Go ahead and like it. I only can see 143 people liking it. There are more than you here now. Like the video and contact whoever invited you for a link to purchase the Work Permit Handbook. You get lifetime access to that handbook. You get lifetime access to me. You get lifetime access to the team that I work with. So go ahead, like it, and contact who sent you. Thank you for listening. Hope you got value, and I will go into the YouTube room and then answer your questions now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for showing up. Wow, so that was a blast. So we're here now, answering your questions. So let me start checking for your questions. Questions are many. While this thing was going on, some of you were just asking questions. You did not even listen, Seth. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. Is it true that you must get a reference letter from your employer here in Canada before getting a job? An employer here in Nigeria before getting a job in Canada. So you must get a reference letter if the employer wants it. So if I'm an employer and I say, bros, before I employ you, send me a reference letter from your current employer, then you need to get now. Do you understand? Or when you're applying for work permit, actually getting a reference letter is part of the documents that you submit, but it is not a document for getting a job. But whoever whoever is employing you might want to see that job, might want to see a reference letter, and if they do, you now have to give it to them. Yeah. So you can send in your questions. We take questions for about 30 minutes. If you came late, if you're a typical Nigerian or a typical Ghanaian, you came late, you need to go and watch the replay so that you can get everything we've said. Yeah, if you're asking questions, replay then, whatever. I can't answer. So someone says, can I get a driver's license as a visitor in Canada? I suppose you can get a driver's license, but to get a driver's license in Canada, you need to do a knowledge test. So you need to study for and do a knowledge test. You know, the one where you actually go and they'll give you multiple choice questions, 40 questions or so. You need to do that. So just come to Canada with your driver's license and maybe an extract from FRSC or whichever it is in your country, and then you can go and do the knowledge test. It is after you've passed the knowledge test, then you can do the applicable road test, yeah, for you to be able to get a Canada driver's license. So if you bought, Emmanuel, if you bought the Canada JAPA system, this is a different thing. If you bought the Canada JAPA system, that is for study, this is for work. So let me try and be pinning up some of these questions that are asking. Some of them are so interesting. Olayemi Idowu is asking, what are the assurances that with visit visa, one will get a whatever work permit? So there are no assurances. When the Canada government put that policy, did you see them give you any assurances? No, they didn't give any assurances. There's no policy that said definitely you will get, or that we have this number of jobs for visitors. No, there are no assurances. So you need to actually know what you're doing, or you come here and return back with nothing. Yeah. So there are no assurances. So much value gain. Thank you so much, Pierre. Pierre is saying he gained so much value. I'm so glad to hear that, because that was my intention, to give so much value. So someone asked, I want to know about, Priska is asking, I want to know about studying when I come with a visit visa. So really, like the name implies, visit visa, you're a visitor. You cannot come as a visitor and study. The only thing you can do short courses. You can go and do a 6 weeks course, any course that is less than 6 months or less than 2 semesters. But once you want to do a proper academic program, you cannot do that as a visitor. However, while you're in Canada on your visit visa, you can go to a school and get admission. Yeah, you can go to a school and get admission and apply for a study permit. You need a study permit for you to be able to study. You can't study as a visitor. Someone says, who is this? Afiz Oluwole. If I'm to learn truck driving in Canada, I hope I won't exceed the 6 months limit. Or is it just better learning from here? So whatever you're doing, you need to be cognizant of that 6 month limit. I don't know how the truck driving trainings are. That's for you to go and find out. Yeah, but you can go and come back. You can do the training in your country. Yeah. And then come to Canada. I'm sure they may still require you to do the training here in Canada, but at least you've done part of the training here and you're coming with a training certificate. That might help, but I am not giving any assurances. Yeah. I'm not going to be answering questions about studying in Canada, because that is not why we are here. Okay. So if you have study in Canada, I'm not going to answer that. You can join the next webinar. My sister is going as a visitor and she's pregnant. She'll be due by February. I hope no problem. So if your sister is coming to Canada and she's pregnant, your sister needs to be able to have money to pay for her hospital bills. Yeah, she needs to pay whatever the hospital bills are. It will not be free. So long as she has money to pay, there's no problem. Very insightful, Sam. Thank you very much for that compliment. Yeah. Thank you so much. Somebody's asking about PSW. PSW is another thing people ask a lot. People ask a lot of questions about. But let me see what your question is. This person is, who's this? Onome Akwe. Can I do PSW plus home care course online before coming to Canada? Whatever you want to do, you can do whatever training you want to do before coming to Canada, but there are no assurances. I don't know if an employer is going to be satisfied with that training that you did outside of Canada, or if they will insist that you do a PSW training in Canada. But for crying out loud, whatever it is you can do to prepare yourself and put yourself in the best light possible, kindly go ahead and do it, I beg you. Okay, thank you so much. Can you help for visiting visa and how to go about it? So when I started this webinar, I actually said I'm not going to talk about how you will get visit visa. Yeah, this is not what this is about. If you want to know how to get a visit visa, go to IRCC website, canada.ca. Let me put it here so that you can go. Canada.ca. They will tell you what is required to get a to get a visit visa. Yeah, it's the usual things: employment letter, invitation letter if you have one, home ties, the usual things. Where are you going to stay? What purpose of visit? All those things, and those are things that are required. And you're so lucky because at this time, they are not so stringent on visit visas anymore. So long as you don't have criminal issues or criminal background, they are likely to give you a visit visa so long as you have the money to take care of yourself in Canada. So Bonti, what country are you from? Because you're complaining about how to pay for the documents. Your payment options are not in my country. So what country is that? You didn't even say what your country is. What country are you from? So that I can know how to help. Is Japa work permit manual? I don't know what you're asking. Idris, Oluwatoyin Ventures. I don't understand your question. Folu, yes, so this Japa must work for you. You must Japa. I support that. So someone says, Isiche, sorry, Patricia, will the tuition fee be less when I go as a visitor? What tuition fee? You cannot go to school, proper school in Canada as a visitor. You can't. You can only do a short course. And those short courses, I don't know if they are cheap, but of course, those schools are there to make money. So I really don't know. You have to go and check what it is, how much these programs, prayer management, hospitality, all those programs that they have, short courses. So those are not academic programs. You can do it as a visitor, but you cannot go to a PGD, BSc, diploma, or any of those things as a visitor. This is Hassan Elizabeth. How many months does it take someone to receive decision after you apply for the work permit? So when it comes to processing time, you can always check on the IRCC website. You can go to Canada.ca and type processing time. They will tell you the processing time for your country. So I don't know how long it will take. It differs from country to country, and you can always check on the Canada website. So someone is asking, what are you going to gain from getting the book? I'm going to advise you to go back and watch the replay. You're not going to make me start talking about what I've talked about. All the things you will gain, I already talked about it when I was given the webinar. So I don't help get visit visas. I'm not going to help you get a visit visa. But if you go to IRCC website, you'll find out all the details to get a visit visa. So someone says, I would love to apply. Who is this now? Imora, you were not here. Yes, you need a job. You need a job. You need a job. Oh. Let me say it like Nigeria. You need a job to apply for visit visa. To apply for work permit, sorry. I'm not going to talk about study. I've already talked about it. You cannot apply for a study. You cannot study in Canada on a visit visa. Yeah, you cannot, except you want to do a short course. If for those of you who are asking how can you get the work permit handbook, please, I beg you, go and reach out to whoever sent you to the whoever sent you to the webinar, and tell them that you want to purchase. Now, this is a very interesting question from Deborah Fayon Gaspar. If your daughter is on study permit, can the parents do flagpole for work permit? So if your daughter is here on a study permit, you as a parent, you cannot do flagpole because you are not your daughter's dependent, okay? If you were your daughter's spouse or, then you can do, but no. As a parent, you have to go through all the same thing that I talked about. You have to get that LMIA job for you to be able to stay permanently. There are some questions I don't understand. For money, what are you asking? No, not this one. Olotu Abayomi, is it only the book, ma? Is it only the book? How? I don't understand that question. If you ask your question again, might be able to answer. Someone says, am I a Nigerian or a Ghanaian? That means you were not here in the beginning. I told you that I was a Nigerian. Yeah, I'm a Nigerian. Who is this? It's Emma. Emma Mwem here. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. My brother, this question is pinned up. My brother is coming to Canada next month. So can he apply for a work permit in advance of his coming? Oh my goodness. Please go and watch the replay. Your brother must get a job offer first and an LMI before he applies for a work permit. So I mean, you need to watch the replay. It's not about I'm here, visit visa, change it to work permit, or I want to apply for work permit. It's not like that. And you know that that's what those TikTok videos have told you. They are lying, or they're telling you half truth. You actually need to now come, get a job offer, and then get an LMIA. Yeah. And someone says, if I get a job offer, an LMIA job in Canada as a visitor, can I flagpole? No, you cannot flagpole. You have to apply online. You cannot flagpole it, okay? Someone says, what is flagpole? Just go into Google and type what is flagpole, or you go and watch the replay to tell you what flagpole is. You can get your work permit in Nigeria. I love this question from Namani. Can I get work permit in Nigeria before moving to Canada? Absolutely. That is even the best way. You can get your work permit in in Nigeria, and then use it to move to Canada. That's even the best way. I'm not going to answer any question about studying. Yeah, I'm not going to answer any question. So we're not talking about study today. Okay, Olotu. So the training, there's no book. I don't have any book. So the training is a bunch of videos and PDF guidelines. Yeah, we also will be on our email list where we'll be sending you certain information as they break. So breaking news or things that we think that you should be interested in will be sent to you by email. So it's a training. So it's not a book. We're not posting any book to you, but you get access to training. Someone is still asking about school. I'm not going to answer any question about school. So if you have your questions, put it in the chat or in the comments. I'm going to answer. If you want to get the work permit handbook, finally you understand that, okay, I can't just come and tell them at the airport that I'm here to work. They will turn you back. Oh, they will deport you. Don't tell them you came to work. Don't tell them to change your visa to work. But no one say anything in the airport. And the airport is not Canada. Do you understand? They can still turn you back. So make sure you have entered Canada properly. They've told you welcome to Canada. You've entered before you now start working on your work permit or getting a job. Don't tell them anything at the airport. Oh. I hope all people posting your videos are your people, because I want to start my processing. So yes, so my products or the work permit handbook, my products are affiliate products. So people sell them, people can post the videos, people can use the videos. So they are affiliated to me, but don't go and pay money into anybody's account. Make sure that you're using the links that is sent to you: StakeCut, Seller, Expartner, and Finspire. Can you apply and get a work permit as a visitor from Nigeria? I don't understand that question. So if you're a visitor in Canada, you have to be a visitor now, which means you have to be here visiting before you can do that process. There are some questions I'm jumping because really, I don't know why you're asking me those questions. Someone says, I got a link to this webinar on Facebook. So how do I get the book? So Facebook, somebody posted it. So Facebook is not an affiliate. So Facebook did not post it. Somebody on Facebook posted it, yeah? So you have to actually go back to that post that you saw. I'm amazed that the person didn't add you to a group. You have to go back to that post and ask them for the link. That's how you get it. Somebody said, is flagpole better? Better than what? Is it better than what now? What are you comparing it to? Susan and Astonia said, my husband has gotten admission in Canada. If I get a job in Canada as his spouse right from Nigeria, hope it's not going to have any effect on him. So I'm wondering how you're going to get a job. But even if you get a job in Canada, how does it affect him? It doesn't affect him. So you get a job, you get a work permit. He has a study permit. It doesn't affect anything. Wow. Jude is asking me, this is a big question. How does one get his work permit in Nigeria before going to Canada? How do you get work permit in Nigeria? First of all, go and watch the replay. First of all, you need to get a job offer. One thing. Then that job offer needs to be supported by an LMIA. Number two. You have these two. You need to now meet the other requirements, and then you apply for a work permit online in Nigeria, get work permit, then you come to Canada. That is just the process in a nutshell. I don't know how to, Madwabuchi is asking, does this 6 months start counting? Start counting the moment you enter Canada. So the moment your passport is stamped, bam, yes, 6 months start counting from that day. Yeah. So you have 6 months from that day to exit Canada, or if the visa officer has even put 3 months, exit by whatever date, and that date is less than 6 months, that is the date that they're asking you to leave. Yeah. Very, very interesting questions, very insightful questions. I'm happy. It means that you people were paying attention, you know, and you have these great questions that you're asking, which is amazing. So one thing I forgot to say is that in the work permit handbook, we also show you how to apply for work permit, step-by-step guide. The website that you go to, the documents you need, how you start, what documents you need to apply for work permit, all of that is in the work permit handbook, in addition to how to even get these jobs in the first place. These Canadian employers, are they on LinkedIn? If they're on LinkedIn, what are they looking for? Where do they even advertise these jobs? All of that is in the work permit handbook. Interesting question here from Janai Gift. If couple is in Canada as visitor and one gets LMIA, apply for work permits, can the spouse apply for open work permits? Now, it depends on the job. So it depends. It depends on the job that the spouse has gotten. Now, if the job is in certain categories, not NOC categories, it has to be OA or B. If it's in those categories, yes, the spouse can apply for open work permit. If the job is not in those categories, my dear spouse, you cannot apply. Yeah. So it depends on the job. Thank you, Dada. Sunday. Good job, madam, from Edmonton. Oh my goodness. I need to come to Edmonton to see all of. I have so many friends in Edmonton. How's the weather there today? So nice to also have you on here. Mayowa. There are some names I can't pronounce, so, but thank you so much. You got a whole lot of value. I appreciate it. If you want to talk about studying, I'm not going to answer you. I'm sorry, but this is Iyanu Jubril. Thank you for this video. God bless you, ma. I studied agriculture here in Nigeria, BSc. I learned how to drive truck and apply for work permit because study route is quite expensive. You want to learn, or you've already done that. If you've done that, that's amazing. You are on the right path. But if you want to learn, also amazing, you are also on the right path. Wow, Juliet Adenuga. Now, what is Juliet saying? Does what you just said me that even with years of visa, you stay the period stamped? I don't understand. Even if it's less than 6 months. Yeah, so even if you have, that means you were not here when I was giving the presentation. If you have a 2-year visit visa, you come to Canada, immigration officer stamps 3 months on your passport, you can only stay 3 months, because that's what's stamped on your passport for whatever reason. If nothing is stamped on your passport, you can only stay 6 months. Yeah, you can only stay 6 months at a time. You have to go back. Now, if someone is stamped in for conference 1 week, if an immigration officer has stamped 1 week, what did you do to them? You didn't pray well before coming. If they are stamped 1 or 2 weeks, then that is what you should leave Canada, because to be there now, this person should leave Canada at this time. So that is what was stamped on your passport. The only other option is to get a visitor record, but I don't know why you would want to do that, because you can't obviously, use it for much. But yeah, if they stamp 1 or 2 weeks, that is it. Moses, you are here now. Okay, welcome. Welcome. So someone says, this is Freeborn. I got my visitor visa first week of August, but I'm planning to travel by November. Traveling 1 month after getting the visit visa won't affect me at the point of entry. No. So your visit visa that you got has a validity. You can come anytime you want. So nobody's going to say, why did you wait 1 month? You can come in November if that's when you want to come. Thank you, guys. Thank you for staying. There's still a bunch of you here. Thank you. So Abiodun is asking, does LMI exempt job means open work permit and you can work for any employer? So an LMI exempt job, yes, it is not tied to an employer, which means that maybe you're doing an intercompany transfer. So maybe you work in Shell Nigeria and they're sending you to Shell Canada. Yeah. You are working for Shell, right? In here, you're still sort of tied to that employer, but you don't need an LMIE. Yeah. And then if you have a post-graduation work permit, you can work for any employer in Canada. If you're a spouse of an international student, you can work for any employer in Canada. So it's not, those are LMIE exempt jobs. Yeah. So that's what it means for sure. Some of you, this question that you're giving me is like jam question. Adedayo, can a friend of mine send me a visiting visa, or in that occasion, can someone invite you? Someone can invite you, of course. If you have a friend who is a permanent resident, a student, I don't know why a student will invite you, or a citizen, sure, they can invite you. They can give you an invitation letter to come to Canada. Your own Isaac, Ghana. Okay. I'm a mother of 4. Can I apply for Canada visa? Tracy, why now? Why not? Of course you can apply. It's not by how many children you have. You can apply. So what's the process? This is such an interesting question from the last celebrity, MFR. This is an interesting name. What's the process for someone who is getting, the question is pinned up. What's the process for someone who is getting married to Canadian citizen permanent? Does this person have to write IELTS? So if you're getting, so your Canadian boyfriend or girl or fiance should already know this process or be making inquiries for this process. So they would have to sponsor you. Yeah, to come into Canada, you don't have to write the IELTS for that. So there are, if you go to Google and type what are the requirements for that, you will get to see what those requirements are. So you don't have to. So someone says, how do I convince, this is a question I want to answer now. How do I convince immigration officer to stamp more months? You cannot convince them of anything. You say you came for conference, Abby. You say, I'm here for this conference. The conference is going to last 4 days. Why do you want to say 3 months now after conference has ended? You say you came for conference. You came conference, take 1 week or so, look around Canada. They expect you to go back. So how do you get my Japa how do you get the Japa package? Uchenna, you need to contact whoever sent you to the webinar to get the Japa package. I hope you're talking about the work permit. If you're talking about the study package, then you have to get it from where we're selling it, or an affiliate that has sent you here. Sunday, that the weather is not bad. That's good. Weather is great today, actually. Weather is great. How many minutes do we have? I didn't check time. So Uchenna is asking, apart from visiting visa, can someone get a work route visa? I absolutely don't know what you mean. You did not listen to this webinar. Go and look at the replay. I don't understand your question. You don't have to get a visit visa to get a work permit. You don't. Do you understand? You can get a work permit without a visit visa. Yeah, you don't need a visit visa. All you need is a job offer supported by an LMIA. Simple. If I have a job offer, can I also go with my family? So there are certain requirements, like I said before, to go with family. So your family can join you to study or to visit. So they can get study visas or visit visa depending on their age. Yeah. For your spouse to get open work permits, they need to meet certain requirements. I've already talked about it. Thank you so much, Isiche, Patricia. Yes, I try to make the webinars as valuable as possible. Okay, so I mean, if you came late, then please take the time to watch the replay. The presentation wasn't very long, but it's very valuable. If you want to come to Canada to work, that means you don't want to do all this study wahala, you don't want to go through the permanent residence express entry, you just want to land here and work, then you need to go through the webinar or the replay again. Then you need to get the Canada Japan Work Permit Handbook. And if you have a visit visa, you need to have a plan. It's 25,000 naira today, currently 25,000 naira. So this is an interesting question from Mike Obed. Is it possible for someone to get a job outside Canada after visiting and return to home country? Of course now, definitely. If your home country, you can get a job in Canada, come to your home country and apply for work permits. That is how it used to be before this policy. This policy is up until, it has less than 2 years to go. Policy is going to expire February 2025 if Canada doesn't extend it, but that's when the policy is going to end. Okay, so someone is saying, can one exit to a nearby country and then re-enter Canada? What is a nearby country? The country that is nearest to Canada is the US. I've heard people whose parents are here, they say they went to the US and came back. Sometimes the visa officers will insist that you go back to your home country and come back. You need to go to your home country and come back. But those are the things that has gray areas. Yeah, so I can't say categorically that yes, if you go to the US and come back, it's okay. It may not be. Some people have tried it, it worked. Some people have tried it, it did not work. So you might have to go to your country. If you are coming, Aremu Taiwo, if you're coming on a visitor visa, is there a need for proof of funds? Of course. So the need of proof of funds. You need to show that you can take care of yourself and any family member that are coming with you. There is need for proof of funds if you're coming on a visit visa. So thank you so much. I think I've answered all the questions that are legal questions. The rest of the questions, people are just asking me things that are outside the scope of what I've just presented. If you didn't come early, you came late, replays will be available for some time. It's available today, it's available tomorrow. You can watch the replay, get the work permit handbook. Don't just be coming to these webinars and be going back and be coming and going. I am not making any investment in yourself in terms of investing in the work permit handbook. Please do that. Subscribe to this channel as well. Invite your friends to subscribe. If you're here and you didn't subscribe, I will beg. So subscribe, yeah, so that you can also go through the other videos that I have. I have a lot of useful videos that will benefit you. Yeah. So I've lived in Canada since 2018, and I've made it my business to know these things, ask questions, make research, just so that people are not deceived by all these people that put sweet news on TikTok and Instagram. Okay. Must I have someone in Canada invite me? This is a very good question. Must I have someone in Canada invite me before I can apply for this visa? No. Sure, you had people come for conference. People came for conference. Nobody invited them. You can also come for tourism. Nobody has to invite you. You say, oh, you know what? I'm going on holiday and I've always wanted to come to Canada. I have enough money saved. I want to come and see Niagara Falls. I want to come and see the CN Tower. I want to go to Quebec. Yes, you can visit. You don't have to have someone here that will send you an invitation. Yeah, you can just come. You can get a job. Can I get a job as a visitor? Allow Shea become John. Go and watch the replay. Go and watch. I'm surprised you're asking me that question. We are thinking how to change this visa to work permit. You're asking. Go and change. Go and watch the replay. So I think that I have answered all the questions for now. I'm going to have to do another webinar next month, and then probably we'll talk about something a bit more skewed to those who want to study in Canada. Can I also have registered nurse job offer? Okay, so the thing about registered nurses in Canada is that you need to be certified to be a nurse in Canada. Yeah. So if you want to be a nurse in Ontario, you need to take the exam to be a nurse. So if you're a registered nurse in your country, you probably will not be able to work here as a registered nurse until you do the certification or whatever exams that they do to ensure that you are certified to work as a nurse in Canada. But you can work as a care worker, you can work as a PSW, you can work as any of those things that require the nursing skills, but you can't just work as a nurse. So like how much can someone have as proof of funds? So we're not talking about visit visa today. How much you need as proof of funds is enough to cover you. Simple. There's no amount that you need. So it's enough. You need enough. What you need for staying in 1 week is different from what someone who is staying in for 2 weeks. What you need as a single person is different from someone who has a family. So I can't give you any amount. Can I apply for a US visa in Canada whilst on a visitor visa? So you can, but really, do you have enough time? You can apply for a visit or a US visa wherever you are. So long as you're in Canada legally, you can. Someone says, I have tried to see who invited me so I can pay for the books, but I don't get the person. How did you try? What did you do? Do you understand? If someone invited you, how can you say you can't get back to the person now? What did you do? Tell me, I'm still here. So tell me what you did to contact them. So I think we're rounding off. Thank you so much. Really, I'm so grateful for all of you. The amazing number of you, they were like, what? You know, we started off with a lot of people who took time out to come, yeah, and spend this time. I'm always grateful when people come and spend time and listen to me. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for all the wonderful things you do. I appreciate every one of you. Someone says, hope having a valid US visa won't affect my Canada visit visa. How? It will affect it positively. It will not affect it negatively. No. Having a visa to another country, including the US, does not have any negative effect on you applying for a visit visa to Canada. So getting a visit visa to Canada is pretty simple. Go to canada.ca, basic documents, proof of funds, that you have employment, reason for visiting Canada, of course, home ties to show that you're going to return. When you come to the airport, don't tell them that you're here to look for a job, but learn the skills that you need to help you get a job in Canada, so that you're not just coming to look at CN Tower and Niagara Falls, you're also getting a job that can help you to stay permanently in Canada, get that visit visa, get that work permit, work, get the work experience that you need to apply for, either the Canadian Experience Class, one of the provincial nominee programs, the rural immigration programs. There are programs that you can use to become a permanent resident in Canada, like massive. And it's only available to you if you are in Canada on either a work permit or a study visa that you've converted to a work permit. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for all the people who are confirming that you've done your payments. I've seen all of you. I've seen the payment also showing on my laptop while you're paying and you're getting access. Thank you. And for those of you who are still in the Do It For Me WhatsApp group, or let me wait and see WhatsApp group, looking at you on flat screen TV. They play. Time is going. That policy is expiring February of 2025. So make hay while the sun shines. Thank you very much. God bless all of you. Subscribe to this channel. Make sure you keep an eye and click the notification button so that you're aware when we're doing the next webinar and when also I share videos. Thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend and God bless you. God bless you so much. So I'm going to put my own emoji. So just go ahead and say bye in the chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. I do. I appreciate all of you who have also patronized us in one way or the other. It is amazing. By the way, Canada is a beautiful country. If I didn't say that before, if you want to come and visit, if you want to come and work, whatever it is you want to come and do, Canada is waiting for you. Canada loves you. They play. Canada loves you and Canada needs people. So come, we're waiting for you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening and bye for now. Bye. Bye.